All right, Maria Solis Alvarez is group stalking at work. This is the light source that's right over me. This is a shadow, possible light activity. And this is operation of a communication device in relevant position while the light source is directly over my head. And you saw the exact same iteration in concert with LAP that literally flew over the apartment building that I'm standing at. And this was after 4:15 in the afternoon, where the sun would never be present based on duration of time analysis. This is group stalking that's underway in the in the workplace. Okay, that's P.O.C. That's the impossible ability to hear helicopter activity. This is speaking to what is group stalking, and it's occurring in the workplace. Targeting is recognized through the maintenance of the light source. Targeting is recognized through the amplification of helicopter activity. Targeting is recognized through the presence in the path in concert in that specific environment. And this is demonic activity. This is terrorism. Speaker companies is going to be prosecuted civilly and criminally, and every employee is going to federal prison. And this is group stalking by the corrupt agency that's, by the way, demon possessed as well. You see them group stalking under a light source that's present in the morning. Rising in alignment to my apartment. They're group stalking at night while engineered light is on my ceiling inside of my apartment. They're group stalking flying over the same property while the light source is over me at 4:18 in the afternoon. This is demon possession exhibited by a corrupt law enforcement agency, and that's why they're engaging in this criminal stalking system. This is demon possession revealed, and this is the why as to the public corruption. And they're literally flying in a circle, and it's impossible that I could hear that helicopter activity. That's the evidence of group stalking. And that's a demon flying a helicopter. Dominic Choi is fired. Dominic Choi is disqualified from being in law enforcement because he is of this condition, demon possession. And the men and women of the Los Angeles Police Department are going to be removed. This is the evidence of what is the domestic enemy, keeping American citizens under surveillance in concert with the people of the state. Understand that what the entity is doing in helicopter is speaking to what the people of the state are doing in that same environment. And the light source is directly over me. This is P.O.C. This is my shadow right here. This is the light source right over my head. This is the evidence of what is targeting. The light source that was through my living room window, this is the same hillside that was at 7:12 in the morning. It is 10:45 in the morning. That is non-movement. That is called group stalking. This is called group stalking. And this is also federal stalking, violation of federal law. She's going to federal prison. And I believe she's also in custody of minor children. And so she's going to be removed from the ability to have custody of those minor children. But when she's deported, those children can go there. But as far as being in the U.S., you're talking about absolute removal and deportation after federal prison. This is impunity and a high level of malice, which is the threat to your life and your safety. This is P.O.C. It is 10:45 in the morning. There is, by the way, no sun that's going to be over Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California, as I'm capturing at the same time, while you're also looking at a corrupt law enforcement agency group stalking while a light source is not over my head in Los Angeles, where you're seeing group stalking by a corrupt law enforcement agency and the people of the state in that environment, and also while it's occurring in the workplace. The light source is directly over me, over my room, as you see it hovering above my head as I am in Ontario at Economy Inn, facing the 60 freeway, which again, we're getting to a very specific location, direction that I'm at. I'm facing the same hillside where you saw the sun rise this morning at 7:12. Facing that same hillside, the light source is directly over my head. Over 3 hours later, it stays at this property as a matter of video evidence after 7 p.m. You saw it on video, the same group stalking by the same demon-possessed agency, LAPD, who are flying 4 times in this video at 4:18, 4:12 yesterday afternoon. This is speaking to the unnatural environment. And at the same time, the entity is remaining as a matter of documentation just to shoot you an example of juxtaposing the crime scenes. The crime scene is underway, same time of year. The Ontario Fire Department demonstrating demon possession as they open and close the fire truck. Engineered lights moving across that asphalt while they're group stalking in a parking lot at 231 South Euclid Avenue. And you're recognizing their demon possession and their group stalking, which is done in concert with the people of the state inside of a private space, which is a sex offense as I'm documenting it. And the light source is directly over my head, just like you see it directly over my head here as you see my shadow. And you see the hallmark stalking. Not only that, a demon that's stalking, pacing in a helicopter. And the distance is speaking to impossible ability to hear a helicopter. And you're looking at a demon that's calling themselves your supervisor in the workplace. That's understanding group stalking. In the environment that is not shared by the light source that's directly over my head at 231 South Euclid Avenue at 10:46 in the morning, which I documented not only the Ontario Fire Department demonstrating demon possession, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, the same entity engaging in kidnapping in concert with the corrupt law enforcement agency, heavily documented group stalking, just like you see LAPD, and they engaged in kidnapping that same day that you see the entity with that light source over me at 10:29 in the morning on June 18, 2023, they engaged in kidnapping while they are group stalking, just like you see here in this environment where there's no sun at 10:29 in the morning over that library, while it's remaining over me here at 10:45. It's 10:48 in the morning. The sun's not over the Ovid Family Community Library. That video that I captured at 10:29 in the morning on June 18, 2023, where this entity that's group stalking, very readily identifiable in the specific environment, that light source that you just see over, that you saw over me right here, that is the guise under which engineered light is present on the windowsill, is not over 215 EC Street at this same time, because that video that I captured, by the way, is 20 minutes long. Okay, so it's captured at 10:29 a.m. I'm still capturing video at 10:50 in the morning, 20-minute long video. It's 10:49 in the morning right now. This is P.O.C. That's speaking to the criminal conduct that the LAPD and the Ontario Police Department are tied together. The LAPD, the Ontario Police Department, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, and the entity is maintaining a light source wall. And that's just 3 videos that you can use to surround the entity with evidence of what is group stalking. And then you're talking on top of that, they're monitoring documentation. They're openly engaging in what is terrorism. That's a demon, and you know it by the specific environment. That's a demon that's pacing around monitoring. That's a demon that's targeting, because the sound of that helicopter is impossible for me to naturally hear where I'm at that distance. And then you're witnessing what is terrorism, because the demon-possessed exhibit a life-threatening level of malice and passive-aggressive stalking conduct. There's nothing that is neutralizing. There's nothing that is normal. There's nothing that is comforting with regard to group stalking with that corrupt agency that engaged in kidnapping on June 18, 2022 in the specific environment, which is readily comparable to what is the specific environment here in LA, under no circumstances the sun. And why do you know that as well? Because as a matter of documentation, the so-called sun is here as from 7:12 in the morning until after 4:12 in the afternoon, like I captured yesterday afternoon under the light source, while the entity is on video group stalking in helicopter. Targeting, just like they are flying at a distance, they're targeting while you see them on a video yesterday flying directly over the apartment. They're group stalking. It's called crossing path. And this flying in a circle is a demon that is literally going haywire, pacing like this. That's what the demon is doing, okay? I want to make sure that you understand that this demon is engaged in federal stalking and group stalking in violation of your constitutional human rights. And that is evidence that I'm speaking to, which is the grounds of federal prison. And DOMINIC CHOI is repeatedly, as I continuously capture the corruption that's underway and demonstrated, exhibited to the world by the Los Angeles Police Department, the demon-infected agency that are the Los Angeles Police Department, and the woefully, disqualified agency that they are because of their condition. This is mental illness exhibited by their criminal activity. This is psychotic pacing conduct in an engineered environment, which is what demons engage in when they're monitoring you. And they're also engaged in what is criminal on its face because they're an entire department that is engaging in 24-hour surveillance using helicopters. Thank you. That was Lorraine Pena, right?
She has an appointment at 2:30.
Okay.
She thought it was at, I don't know what time she thought it was.
Alrighty.
Oh, and we moved in the guy already. Selena did it.
Oh, okay. Got it.
She had to go through a bunch of stuff. I guess it's something new and you already had it on that. So, if you want to scan the checks.
Yeah, I will do that right now. This is the light source that's directly over while she's walking in and talking, creating light activity. This is P.O.C. That's P.O.C. There's no sun that's over the Ovid Family Community Library, and she's monitoring with the LAPD that are engaging and openly exhibiting demon possession. I want to be clear, it's legally relevant to the prosecution for terrorism. It's legally relevant for the ongoing criminal engagement with a corrupt entity that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. Group stalking, gang stalking, state organized stalking, proxy stalking is demonic activity. And that's the added context that is not known. And I'm also showing you the evidence of that demon possession through the environment that is maintained. It is a scientific impossibility, which I documented, captured that impossibility, because you clearly see what is the light source and not possibly the sun, which is why I refer to it in those terms. The light source, not the sun, is over the roof at the same time of year, at the same time. The Ovid Family Community Library at 215 East C Street at 10:29 in the morning, that video is 20 minutes long, 18 to 20 minutes long. I'm still capturing video at or around the same time. It's 10:52 in the morning. The light source would be remaining over the Ovid Family Community Library if that was the sun, because it would not be over my head while I am facing the hillside showing you a demon flying in a circle in a helicopter at a distance where I am not possibly capable of hearing it where I'm located, and that light source is directly over my head. We're not sharing any sky space between me and the Ovid Family Community Library. But what you do see are two law enforcement agencies engaging in demonic activity, which is relevant for terrorism. It's also relevant for their disqualification permanently from law enforcement. They are a domestic enemy engaged in what is state surveillance, and they are obsessively engaged in what is stalking. Their group stalking conduct is demonic activity that is also engaged in through all of those, the population that's in that environment, group stalking and monitoring together, which is terrorism that's occurring in the United States, in the state of California. They're also engaged in surveillance on communication devices, and you see Maria Solis Alvarez in operation of her cell phone, in operation of what is this phone right here, which is in concert with Lorraine Pena. She's also group stalking on the phone. Understand that. They're monitoring together, and the entity begins sounding helicopter activity while I am subject to also terrorism, while the light source, like I stated, appears at any point in the day, and that's while I'm standing outside. It's not even the sun, nor could it possibly be the sun, nor is there any sun over that corrupt courthouse that at the same time I documented on June 23rd, 2022, completing my evidence prosecuting the entire state of California, because there's no sun that's going to be over the courthouse at 10:29 in the morning, while it's over the entry roof of the Ovid Family Community Library at 215 East C Street at 10:29 in the morning, where the entity is also maintaining it over me as I'm at the hillside, the same hillside where you saw the so-called sunrise at 7:12 in the morning. It remains here, and it remains here as you saw yesterday at 4:12 p.m. That's not the sun that will be over the courthouse or over the Ovid Family Community Library. All of them are mutually exclusive, and none of it's happening at the same time. None of it is the natural environment. All of it is coexisting with what is group stalking that's underway by a corrupt government, a corrupt courthouse, and corrupt law enforcement agencies who are stalking and then feigning legal authority while they are kidnapping you as they are stalking you, having no probable cause, no warrant, no reasonable suspicion. They're group stalking and keeping you under surveillance. They know exactly the moment that you're pulling your panties down, and then they are arriving pursuant to criminal conduct that they're engaging in concert with the people, including making up information, which is exactly what was underway on June 18, 2023, where this entity that you see group stalking to date, LAPD and the Ontario Police Department, the same entity. You saw them in this same entity engaging in what is making up information. When I say fictitious authority, I mean in every way. Not only do you not have any legal authority, they literally made it up, which was the substance of that whole conversation, which was all serving to threaten my life. They were monitoring. And then the demon-possessed monitors are bearing weapons and wearing badges. Demons that you see flying in a circle in relevant position to me. Those are the demons that are engaging in what is harassment at the Ovid Family Community Library, and they're group stalking in plain sight with minor children, with the people of the state pacing in and out of that entrance, engaging in what is directed light moving across the entrance. I documented all of that in that 18-minute video. And then you're looking at Maria Solis Alvarez, the same entity, and this is occurring in the workplace. She's going to federal prison. This is a psychopath that's openly and maliciously engaging and with impunity engaging in criminal conduct. And that same surveillance is underway on this communication device. This is, again, federal group stalking and monitoring of a resident manager. Federal housing policies are simultaneously being violated while a regional manager for a property management company that is a federal housing recipient, a federal housing program participant, is engaged in what is Title 18 criminal activity in violation of Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. She and the rest of the people of the state, for example, it's more than the 59 units that live here, but Lorraine Pena, in addition to the corrupt agency, the LAPD, every third party whose license plate, every vendor whose license plate, every business that you see with the logos on in there, every Amazon Prime, UPS, United States Postal Service, the Silverview Townhomes community, all of the hillside, they are monitoring everything that's moving across my screen. Any social security number that I'm looking at, all of the entity that's keeping me under surveillance, monitoring me, maintaining joint knowledge for their engagement at the same time, and any and every method of activity creation that needs to be created at the drop of a dime. This is how you have a demon that's in relevant position outside of my door, immediately knocking on the door to create audible activity, or immediately coming in with knowledge of what I'm doing as I'm doing it. This is how you have a demon-possessed entity that's stalking in helicopter the moment that I'm preparing to send an email, or the moment that I send that email. While I'm in the process of literally drafting that email, real-time knowledge, using the phone as a means of audible activity creation with simultaneity to my taking a picture, with simultaneity to my uploading documentation, because they're monitoring and they're simultaneously violating federal housing rules that create a mandate against sharing social security numbers, for example, private identifying information, which is simultaneously being violated by the employees of speaker companies. And that's an independent grounds of a federal prosecution, by the way. Their criminal conduct is simultaneously violating relevant federal housing policies and every aspect of that criminal system. The criminal co-conspirator, not only the people of the state, but the state itself are violating these federal housing policies while they're keeping what I am, a resident manager, under surveillance and engaging in surveillance on communication devices. So all of that is underway while you are looking at the pattern of conduct in the specific environment. All right. This is occurring in the workplace again. The entity, all aspects of it, all the employees of speaker companies are going to federal prison by what I just documented. It is not different than what you saw yesterday afternoon while the LAPD flies directly over the apartment property. While you see them flying in circles, and by in circles, you're seeing them fly by more than one occasion. They're repeatedly crossing path. They're circling around the property as I capture video of the light source that by virtue of duration of time, it's 10:58, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hours later is not the sun that would be at the same property. And you also know that when you saw the so-called sunrise, which is not over the anywhere in Ontario while I'm looking at it outside of my living room window, 7:12 to 4:12 p.m. That is again 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 9 hours. That is not the sun. And that's how you know that the demon-possessed agency, first of all, that they're demon possessed, and secondly, that they're group stalking by virtue of that specific environment. And that's revealed through the documentation. And you also know what the speaker companies and the employees of speaker companies are and what they are engaging in. And this is the corrupt misuse of a business for the criminal facilitation of federal group stalking and monitoring. Every employee is engaging in criminal activity with that corrupt entity that is ceaselessly engaged in group stalking. And the hallmark is group stalking by helicopter in a specific environment where the sun is never going to be present for 12 hours in a day. And the totality of my evidence of the pattern of conduct demonstrates that. The sunrise and the sunset as early as 6:45 in the morning, the sunset as late as 7:30 in the evening, which is directly evident, and it remains on the record. And then you have the whole evidence where you will be engaging in a juxtaposition of the crime scene when I'm in an entirely different region. Additional evidence of what is under no circumstances the natural environment. This is understanding the malice of the demon-possessed population that is engaging in what is surveillance as one. Okay, this is crossing a path coming into my office, walking back toward the tent over here, maintaining position. This is criminal presence. You do not have any constitutional right. You're not engaged in any legitimate purpose or presence in the name of a company, which is identifying a third party where the entity is group stalking directly. You see that by helicopter conduct and through the use of sirens, the criminal summoning. This is the state acting directly, group stalking in the specific environment. All aspects of the criminal act is already captured. That's the prima facie case. The people of the state are exercising no constitutional, no privacy rights. You're working at the crime scene, you're going to federal prison. You're living at the crime scene, they're all going to federal prison. You're understanding how the government is engaging in state surveillance. And you're also aware of the fact that they're demons. That's why you have the great distance again of the entity in a helicopter. And there's no possible way that I could hear that. That is identifying targeting. Okay. They're engaged in 24-hour surveillance and invasion of privacy. I have not signed any waiver. There is no consent, nor does the government, because that's what it is, have any right or legal authority to keep me or invade my privacy, which I still have the right while you're engaged in surveillance in the workplace and in my private space. And this whole population is engaged in invasion of privacy together. And it is evidenced through the unnatural environment. Their demon possession is evidenced through the demonic environment, which you see through the engineered light conduct, which you see through the maintenance of the light source that's targeting me. It's rising in alignment to me. It's remaining over the top of my head for the duration of the day. While the entity is engaging in the demonic imitation of a natural environment on a cloudy day, where do you see that light source reveal itself? Right over my head, which is what you saw on video. That's terrorism. The entity is setting the light source in alignment to me, which is nowhere over or at the same time happening, setting in alignment to the Upland Public Library or over the entrance as I exit, while Ontario police are group stalking on video in helicopter on a sunset at 6:39 p.m. That none of that is happening at the same time. That's speaking to the pattern of conduct where the entity makes me the center of the universe. The sun rises and sets wherever I'm located, and that's exactly what's occurring here in LA. And I'm speaking to what is the multiple videos of documentation where the entity by the state is group stalking. And that is one of the most potent ways of revealing the criminal pattern of conduct. The entities maintaining the light source over the Ovid Family Community Library, the Ontario Police Department, are group stalking, and then they engage in kidnapping while they're group stalking. And then the courthouse at 10:29 in the morning, they're engaging in what is a fictitious prosecution on more than one occasion, and they have no legal jurisdiction under the law, engage in what is criminal facilitation in concert with the corrupt agencies that are engaged in surveillance in California, and having no constitutional basis to do so, especially in concert with the people of the state. There is no such legal authority. And in addition to that, showing you the light source on video at 10:46 in the morning, and the light source is in its zenith over my head, just like you see it in its zenith over my head, where I'm showing the Ontario Fire Department, American Medical Response, and the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, again, engaging in what is kidnapping. And American Medical Response and the Ontario Fire Department documented engagement in kidnapping as well, as an entity engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. Okay, so just want to go over the multiple ways of showing what I've already shown here in Los Angeles. The light source is present, and it's present in a manner that is entirely impossible. This is called light activity. This is the significance of maintaining a specific environment for all of a population to keep you under surveillance in concert with a demon-possessed entity. This is P.O.C. Okay, this is the light source right here over my head, where it remains 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, stalking in helicopter all day long. She's going to federal prison, and then you're going to be after you serve time in federal prison. That's called impunity. All right, and you're recognizing demon possession, which has nothing to do with your race. All right, and I want to be clear, the demon possessed that speak a foreign language, they know exactly what you're saying. Just want to let you know that. It is currently 11:04 a.m. This is P.O.C. Maria Solis Alvarez, remaining in position, which is criminal. This is surveillance that's occurring in concert with a corrupt government in the workplace. P.O.C.